So many people spend so much of their lives chasing after the next big material possession, whether that's your new car, house, next big holiday, when in fact you should be prioritizing building on your wealth and building on your bank balance rather than building your social status. That's why in this video I thought it would be interesting to share with you 4 reasons why keeping a lower profile can actually give you greater benefits. Class-based money mindsets. So if we think about the different classes of people in society, and dependent on where they sit, will determine how they perceive money. Typically, a lower class person would view money as a way to get them by, pay their bills, get themselves out of debt, and essentially just live the bare minimum. Middle class, however, would typically use money to add some comfort to their lives. They would use it as leverage in order to get themselves a new car, be able to secure a loan for something, a way in which they can enhance their lives. The wealthy, however, utilize money as a tool. They will instead leverage their money to help them acquire assets that will generate the money and make them more wealthy. They won't get caught in the trap of the middle class person that spends their money as soon as they get it. For example, you have billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg, who wears a grey t-shirt and a pair of jeans every single day, or Jeff Bezos that drives a 1997 Honda. These people are the most richest in the world, but you wouldn't know it from simply just looking at them. In fact, 61% of people that earn over $250,000 per year in the US are statistically more likely to drive a Honda or a Ford rather than a luxury car. Wealthy people don't feel the need to be spending their money on these material items. Instead, they have their financial goals, they know what they're aiming towards, and they have a plan in place that they are prioritizing in order to be successful. The hedonic pursuit of more. This is the cycle of permanent dissatisfaction, also known as the hedonic treadmill, and it's a psychological concept that describes how people tend to return to relatively stable levels of happiness despite major positive or negative events in their life. And the cycle is typically broken down into 6 steps, and the first one of those being desire. You want something you believe will make you happier. Secondly, attainment. So you achieve what you've acquired or you desired. Then you get the brief satisfaction. You experience a temporary boost in happiness, but that's quickly followed by adaptation, with you getting used to your new situation and it becoming the norm. You then return to your baseline or your level state of happiness, and then finally you get a new desire. Start wanting something else, believing it will give you long-lasting happiness, and the cycle starts over again. So for example, let's say you wanted the new latest iPhone. Dream about it, you want it so much, you know that it will bring you so much happiness into your life and that it will make your life 10 times easier. You go and buy it and it brings you some happiness for a short period of time, but it's something that you use daily and it therefore loses its novelty quite quickly. And then that feeling of happiness and elation returns to its pre-baseline because it's become just a normal tool in your day-to-day life. Then before you know it, you're quickly eyeing up the next gadget or tool that you want in your life, maybe the new iPad because it does something that your iPhone doesn't, and therefore that will make it 10 times better than what you have currently. Getting caught in the hedonic treadmill and a constant cycle of dissatisfaction means that you will simply end up spending more money than you should. You will end up getting regularly caught up in this cycle, buying things because you think they're going to make you happy and not focusing on the things that really will make you happy longer term. The grass is greener syndrome. In this section, I want to talk through with you the social comparison theory. It suggests that generally we as humans will not be dissatisfied or unhappy with our salary when we are looking at it in isolation. Instead, typically the feelings of sadness will come when you start comparing your salary to those of others around you. So for example, you could be earning $50,000 per year and in isolation feel very satisfied and very happy with the salary package that you have. But you then may be speaking to a friend of yours that recently moved jobs and in fact are earning $10,000 more than you. As soon as you learn that, your feeling of happiness and satisfaction with where you're currently at in your career would immediately dissipate, and you instead will start to feel feelings of sadness and dissatisfaction. The problem with this approach and way of thinking is that you generally are going to be setting yourself up for failure. There is always going to be someone in this world that is more wealthy than you, and if you are consistently comparing yourself to someone that is seemingly earning more or achieving more in life, you will always have a negative mindset on your life. This in turn can then cause anxiety and stress about the way that you are thinking about money. The American Psychological Association found that 72% of American adults actually report being stressed about their money, with 22% of them reporting that they feel extreme stress with regards to financial situations. And this stress can be linked to anxiety and depression. The grass isn't always greener, and you shouldn't try to be keeping up with the people around you in an attempt to try and make you feel better about yourself. I want to leave you with a quote here that I absolutely love from John Mader. Simplicity is about subtracting the obvious and adding the meaningful. And finally, long-term living. Arguably, in my mind, this is one of the most important reasons why someone should try to look poor. If you are living for the long term, then it is going to make it so much easier for you to prioritize those short-term sacrifices. If you're able to resist spending your time chasing after those latest new gadgets, keeping up with the latest trends, spending money on all of those needs as opposed to those wants, then it will make it so much easier and more attainable for you to achieve that longer term goal that you have set. For example, my goal is to become financially free by the time that I turn 35, and everything that I do in my life is centered around prioritizing that. So for example, I have minimized my outgoings as much as I possibly can whilst maximizing my incomings. And I have done that through reducing my fixed costs where possible, reducing my variable costs, and then increasing my income streams. Then with that additional money that I have available to me, investing that on a monthly basis. Did you know that for every 5% of additional income you save, it will result in you being able to retire multiple years earlier? And I wanted to demonstrate what a small amount of savings put away each month can have over the longer period. Let's say that you decide you're going to put away $100 per month into a savings account, and that savings account accrues a 7% annual return. Over the course of 1 year, you're putting away $1,200 in total. If we fast forward to 30 years' time, you will have saved $36,000. However, within that time, you've also been accruing that 7% annual return. And this means that by the end of that 30 years, you will in fact have $122,000. Even though you only put in $36,000, you are getting back $122,000. You could have spent that $100 on going out and socializing with your friends or buying yourself some new clothes, but you chose to make that sacrifice and you're reaping the benefits of that years later. I'm utilizing all of these points in order to help me on my journey to become financially free. And I hope that 1 or 2 of them will help you on your journey as well. Thanks so much for watching. Any comments you have, drop them below, and I'll see you in the next video.